A double homicide on Pitt Road this morning. A police-involved shooting leaves one man dead, and those illegal migrants arraigned in Long Island's Magistrates Court. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Simonet with your JCN News for this Wednesday, December 30th. Thanks for staying with us. Just 48 hours before the new year, loved ones of this morning's homicide mourn their deaths as police here in the capital are investigating the events surrounding a double homicide that occurred on Pitt Road off Nassau Street around 7:30 this morning, where police say they responded to a 911 call about shots being fired. One victim's body was found on the road and the other just feet away in a yard. Now, Love 97's news team understands that the victims are 33-year-old Amal Herter and 32-year-old Calvin Archer. Here's the Assistant Commissioner of Police for Crime Management and Criminal Investigation, Solomon Cash, with more details.
Police received a call of a shooting incident that occurred here at Pitt Road. Once the officers arrived on the scene, they discovered the lifeless bodies of two male individuals. Again, it's a bit early in the investigation, so we don't have all the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Again, I have my detectives on the ground. They're currently probing and combing the areas, and hopefully we'll be able to uncover a lot of information from. You can see this is a residential area that is a lot of persons in it. So hopefully we'll be able to get a little more information as it relates to whether or not it's a drive-by or persons walk up to these individuals.
Asked if evidence suggests that this homicide was gang-related or if any victims were known to the police, ACP Cash shares this information.
Victims is known to us, and of course we are looking at his victimology, and hopefully by us examining his victimology we may be able to share a little more to the media. One of the victims that we suspect he is involved in gang activities and also small drug peddling.
Now, ACP Cash noted that police recovered a firearm from off the deceased, which appeared to be a pistol. Here's what he says about possible retaliation.
When we conduct investigation, we look at all aspects of the investigation, and particularly when we look at the victimologies of persons, we consider whether or not there are going to be retaliation. And if that is found to be so, then we know the players. And of course, we will deploy our policing strategy to circumvent from any additional retaliation.
Police are appealing to members of the public who may have information. Please contact the police at 502-9991 or 2. Just hours after that double homicide, there was another fatal shooting on 2nd Street, Coconut Grove, just north of Robinson Road. This time, a police-involved shooting. When JCN's news team arrived on that scene, the police investigation was already underway. Assistant Commissioner of Police Solomon Cash says police got a report of a group of men with a firearm. He explains what took place leading up to the shooting.
Sometime after 12:15 today's date, police officers received information relative to several individuals who assembled here at 2nd Street. They were in possession of firearms. After the officers got to the scene, they found several individuals, 4 in number, fitting the description as given earlier to the officers. When the officers approached the individual, 3 of the persons ran. The 4th persons engaged the officers, produced a weapon. The officers in turn fired at that individual, which subsequently caused fatal injuries.
No officers were injured in the incident, and the police did not have an identity for the deceased suspect. ACP Cash says the coroner was contacted immediately and arrived to examine the scene that will assist with the inquest. It's unclear if the officers involved were wearing body cams or if the suspect fired on the officers. However, the ACP has this advice for those involved or engaged in criminal activity and are confronted by the police.
The officers, I would ask you to surrender to the officers because I can tell you if you use deadly force or use deadly weapons or instrument at officers, we have to engage you and use justifiable force towards you.
Police are seeking the public's help in locating the other 3 men that escaped. Assistant Commissioner Cash says they will release any new information arising from the investigation. He also says the matter was not related to the earlier shootings at Pitt Road. Those illegal migrants apprehended on Long Island on Saturday were arraigned in the Clarencetown Magistrates Court on Tuesday. Immigration officials report that 45 Haitian nationals appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. 22 men and 1 woman were processed. arraigned and sentenced to 6 months at the Bahamas Department of Corrections for illegal landing, while one additional woman was sentenced to 1 year and 6 months to run concurrently for deceiving a public officer and illegal landing. The remaining 21 adult migrants pleaded guilty to the charge of illegal landing and were all granted a conditional discharge and ordered deported at the earliest opportunity. Immigration officials say a direct repatriation from Long Island through Exuma is currently being arranged on board a Bahamas Air flight. And an update on those Haitian nationals arrested on South Andros yesterday. Reports from police indicated that a total of 25 Haitian nationals were apprehended after their wooden Haitian vessel landed in the area of Mars Bay shortly after 6 p.m. Monday. 10 of them were found on board the vessel, while another 15 were discovered after a search of the area. Well, that number is now 51, according to immigration officials, after they apprehended an additional 26 illegal migrants. 44 males and 7 females are now in their custody. The migrants are being held at the government complex in the Bluff and have all received medical attention from local Ministry of Health personnel and reported as well. The group was expected to be arraigned before a magistrate today. The Department of Immigration reminding the public that it's committed to carrying out the mandates of the agency to combat illegal migration, and further reminding that it is a criminal offense punishable by law to harbor illegal migrants in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and admonishes those wishing to enter the country to come legally or not at all. You're watching JCN News. When we return, opposition party mourning the loss of their vice chairman, tourism minister not happy with tourism numbers, and hear what the national security minister has to say about clemency. Stay with us.